Hey guys, my name is Michael. In today's video, I'm going to be covering how to find the best quality HVAC employees. Now, this is a huge problem and this can be attributed to many different reasons. For example, your old workers are retiring, there's less new young talent heading into the space, the economic state of the world is a disaster, you can't even buy a house out here for young people, and less people generally want to do hard labor. And I've talked to a lot of HVAC business owners myself, and I've done my own research to find out exactly why this is happening. So in this video, I'm going to cover what's going on, why this is happening, and what you can do in order to find the best quality talent to start delivering the best services you can in your city. First, let's take a look at the pathway that a new technician will go through in order to get a job. Starting off as a kid, maybe they did some yard work with their dad, their uncles, whoever. They ended up working with tools and they ended up liking it. The first thing they're going to most likely do is head into a trade school specializing in HVAC. Now, this is great and everything, but the problem nowadays is that HVAC schools or trade schools in general are not the same as what they once used to be. And I don't mean to sound cliche or anything, but the pandemic created a huge shift in the market. Trade programs, apprenticeships, and certifications are all yet to catch up to the pre-COVID-19 levels. But why is that? With everything going digital, this created massive demand for skilled labor. With huge demand in skilled labor, there's also huge demand for people to teach skilled labor. Without anyone teaching it, how can we pump out techs? So what we know is there's huge demand for skilled labor. If there's huge demand for skilled labor, whoever's performing that labor is going to be paid very well. We also know to become a teacher in this space, it takes 1 to 2 years to do your teacher's training, and you're also going to get paid significantly less than if you're doing the trade yourself. So you're a journeyman and a trade school comes up to you and says, hey, you want to come teach the trade? It'll only take 2 years to train you and you'll get paid half of what you're getting paid if you're actually in the field. Who's going to do that? This creates a huge problem because now there's no incentive to teach the trade. Why would you want to teach it where you can just go and do it and get paid twice the amount? So now what do we know? We know that there are less people heading into the trades. Now we know there's less people teaching the trade and likely at a lower quality of education. What this means is your future hires are not receiving the level of quality education that you would originally want them to have. They're not coming in with the skill set that you need them to have. Trade schools are not producing the same quality technicians anymore. Not only are trade schools producing less quality education, the generation that's entering the workforce also has a shifted mindset as well. A lot of them during the pandemic spent a lot of time on social media. What the younger generation is seeing on social media is that a young kid named Sebastian, he's 21 years old, he's driving a Lamborghini, and he says he's going to turn your younger generation into drop shipping millionaires. So now the younger generation is like, oh, nice. Why am I going to go put hard labor on my body when I can just make tens of thousands of dollars digitally online from my laptop? So not only is the quality of education lower, the quality of the student is also lower. Nobody wants to learn anymore. Everyone wants to take the easy way out and make money digitally. This is why there is so much demand. Demand is through the roof. And why is that? Why is demand through the roof? There is no supply. No supply. So all of this is out of our control. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna work with what we've got. We got John here. John is a 19-year-old kid. He loves to work. He worked when he was younger with his dad. And we're also gonna say John is a good student. We'll give him that. He's a good student. He wants to learn the trade properly. What John's gonna do is he's gonna go to trade school. He'll receive a lower quality education, but he's still going to go to school. He's still going to try his best to learn. Most likely during school, he's going to look for an apprenticeship. This is where you come in. This is where I've talked to a bunch of you guys, and this is basically what I'm understanding or what I'm hearing on how you guys are attracting top quality talent in your city. The first way that I hear you guys are bringing in employees is through referrals. Now this is good But a lot of you guys aren't doing this the proper way and maximizing efficiency. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this properly later on in the video. The second way is through job posting. Now this is also good, but after looking at a few of your job postings, I noticed some things that can definitely be improved. And later on, I'm going to give you an exact template of a job posting that you can literally copy and paste and start posting them on sites like Indeed, ZipRecruiter, all the job posting sites. The last way that I've heard you guys are bringing in employees is through Facebook. This is great. I'm also going to dive a little bit into Facebook later on in the video. Now, these are all great ways to bring in employees, but as we know it, it's not cutting it. This means we're not doing enough and we're not doing it properly. Now, let's talk about some ways you can actually start to bring in some high quality employees that actually want to do work and good work. Now, let's backtrack to what we know. We know that trade schools are not giving new employees the skills you want them to have. So if you want to be delivering the best services in your city, you're gonna have to take this into your own hands. The first thing that I'm gonna want you to do is develop a training program. You need to develop a training program that includes everything that you want your new hires to know. This can range from diagnostic skills, understanding preventive maintenance, guides on how to repair and replace certain systems, system calibrations and operations, make a little bit about refrigerants, and especially customer service. If you aren't positioning yourself as a company who actively invests in the growth and development of their employees, you're doing it completely wrong. You want people who look at your company to understand that you will make them the best technicians in the city despite getting a garbage education. This will also make your employees want to be more loyal to you because you're investing in their growth and development. Not only will this help your service delivery, it will also differentiate you from your competitors. A lot of your competitors are actually not offering training, so you will stand out to those who aren't offering long-term development and growth for their employees. If you want to attract top talent, you need to have this implemented before you even start looking. Next, let's talk about referrals. As I've said, using referrals are great, but there are ways to maximize efficiency with referrals that at least the people that I've talked to are not doing. The best place to start finding great quality HVAC technicians is by looking at your current team and replicating your best and top performing employees. You should be asking your employees for referrals, but it's not enough to just ask, hey, do you know anyone that's looking for work? Or, hey, do you know any other technicians that are looking for work? You need to incentivize them. For example, you can give them a pay bonus or extra paid time off after every successful referral has been employed for 90 days, let's say. Use your employees for this because if they're hungry for work, they most likely surrounded themselves by others who are also hungry for work. Their network is extremely valuable. Don't underestimate it. And if your program rewards are good enough, if they're enticing enough, they will do the searching for you. Now, let's talk about how you position yourself as a brand. Your brand is one of the most important assets you have in terms of attracting not only leads, but the highest quality talent for your company. Nobody wants to work for a business that doesn't care about them. People want to feel like they're going to be spending their days doing that matter to them and will improve their life. Everyone wants to work for the biggest companies, and that's all for a reason. The way you position your brand is by how you put yourself out there. The first thing you need to do is maintain a healthy online presence. This means that people need to be able to find your company easily. You need to have good reviews and properly maintain your reputation. Think about it. Do people in your local community know about who you are, what your values are, what you stand for? Probably not. You need to communicate this. And you can do so by something we call community engagement. Your name needs to be floating in your city wherever you go. And you can do so by, for example, sponsoring your niece's basketball team, supporting other local businesses, or anything. The fact of the matter is, you need to be engaging heavily in your community in order to get your name floating around. Make sure to communicate who you are as a company and what you stand for. Once you establish yourself as a brand that actually cares about the community, cares about their workers, cares about the quality of work that they do, you will begin to attract employees who also care about the quality of work that they do. Next, let's talk about how to optimize job postings. Now, nobody really teaches you how to make job postings, something you kind of learn on your own. And I'm sure you've heard a thing or two about how to make job postings. So, as I said, I'm going to provide you a clear template that you can just copy and paste into your business. Job postings. Let's get into it. Now, a lot of people start off their job postings with an introduction, an about us, our values, what we stand for. Skip that. No one cares about that in the job posting. No one's going to sit here and read about the background of your company, where you came from. That should not be in a job posting. If you follow what I said earlier about building your brand, people should already know this about you. And if you really want to put something like this, leave it at the very end of your job posting. You want to get straight to the point. We have an immediate opening for this position. You will be working independently or under supervision, whatever, and you will be traveling to each client's home to perform repairs, maintenances, whatever. When required, you will install new systems following corporate and legislative regulations and practices to ensure that everything runs smoothly. We work with commercial or residential, so you must be confident with working with all sorts of sizes of HVAC equipment. This is all you need to do for your introductory paragraph. The next section we have will be the duties and responsibilities. Next is the duties and responsibilities section of the job posting. This is where you're going to be listing that they're going to be traveling to the client's houses. They're going to need to handle customer concerns. They're going to have to perform tests and inspections, and they're also going to perform maintenances. This is just to name a few. I obviously can't name everything. Your company might have different duties and responsibilities. This is just to get the point across. Next is going to be the qualifications and requirements to apply to the position. So some basic requirements you might have for your HVAC employees is going to be a license for HVAC. You want them to be licensed. You want them to have a clean driver's license. And you also want them to be able to lift heavy weights up to, let's say, 50 pounds. You don't want to hire some skinny kid who can't lift 5 pounds without breaking his arm. You also might want to include availability to work 8-hour days, for example. Next, we're going to be moving on to the job benefits section. Now, these benefits are just standard examples that I'm listing out for you. They're 401k, their insurances, dental, health, whatever, vacation days, sick days, whatever benefits you offer to your employees. Next, we're going to talk about the job type. What I mean by this is if it's part-time, full-time, whatever. Next, you want to communicate the salary. So you're going to say what your wages are, $18 to $36, competitive wages, commission, and bonus pay, whatever and however you pay your employees. One of the last things that we're going to put on this job posting is obviously the location. Don't want to receive applicants from HVAC employees that are way out of your city. So the last thing is your location, where they will be servicing, what areas you service, that sort of stuff. Finally, at the end, if you really want to, you add an about us, where people who are interested can read about who you are, what you stand for, whatever. As I've said, leave this for the end because people should already know who you are, what you stand for, your background, if you've built your brand properly. Now, everything I've laid out here, the order can change to whatever you want. I'm sort of just giving you the framework of what you need to be including in your job posting in order to attract the highest quality employees. Now, once you have your job posting finalized, typed out, written, you need to blast it on every single job platform out there To name a few, we have Indeed, ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn, HVAC Job Center, and even Facebook, as I mentioned earlier. So with Facebook, you'd be surprised. There's actually a lot of great hidden talent that are inside either HVAC groups or local community groups. Just post your posting in these groups and people will eventually find them and message you, reach out, either DM or comment on your post. Also, on some of these platforms, you can pay to put your listing, your job posting, at the very top of the search results. That's up to you. And the final thing that I'm going to talk about is how you pay your employees. And I know this can be somewhat of a controversial topic, but what I'm going to do is give you the cold, hard truth about employee pay. If you want to attract top quality talent, you need to pay them like they're top quality talent. These guys aren't dumb. They know their worth and they're not going to appreciate if you're undercutting them. They will understand if you're undercutting them. Now, if you're producing top quality services from your top quality talent, you're supposed to charge more for your services because you are delivering premium services. Now, you never want to be competing for price because there is always someone that can do it cheaper. If you're competing for price, it tells me that you don't actually understand business. And that's not to say you can start charging unlimited amounts. You get the point. I'll make another video on pricing in a later time. Now, first thing is first. There is only so much quality talent out there, as we discussed. Quality talent. We don't have a lot out there to begin with. And this can be tied to simple economics. When there's low supply, demand is high. Prices rise. If you understand that you have to pay quality talent at the market rate, then it should be obvious that paying them above market rate will attract more quality talent. By paying them above market rate, it will create a higher level of output. The truth is, higher salaries incentivize a culture of higher output. When people perceive that they're getting paid more than their counterparts at other companies, it will make them want to put in more effort. They will want to work harder to demonstrate that they deserve the extra money that they're getting. Next, remember how we talked about employee referrals? You could also inspect this to increase. This is going to increase because highly compensated employees in high output environments tend to be happier with their jobs, assuming that they enjoy the work. When you create an engaging culture filled with highly compensated employees, they're more likely to recruit their other highly skilled friends in their network that they know are receiving the bottom of the barrel at other companies. Now, when employees are happy, they're greatly compensated, it makes them harder to leave. This means less churn. What this means is you'll experience less disruption from new employees that need to learn new tasks, and you can also spend less time and money on recruiting and interviewing applicants. You can also expect your highly compensated employees to have a higher level of focus. So we have an increase in focus. This is because they don't have to worry about staying financially afloat at home. They don't have to worry about putting food on the table or any of that stuff. They're going to be more present in their work, and their attention will also increase, which will produce even higher quality work. Finally, you will need less employees overall. Since these employees are top quality, their output can be significantly higher. If they can do more, you will need less people, which will save you in net salaries and keep your team more lean, which is actually essential for long-term growth. To quickly recap, in order to attract the highest quality workers, First thing you need to do is make sure you have a training program for new workers that are entering the space. Next, create an employee referral program with enticing rewards. Replicate your highest performing employees. Third, you want to build your brand identity. Position yourself as the best brand, the best company in the city to work for. Fourth, you want to create and optimize job postings and blast them on every single job platform that you can. Fifth, and arguably one of the most important points, is to pay them more and on time. I can't tell you how many times workers I hear are telling me they're 3-4 weeks, multiple payroll, like they're just behind on their pay. If you pay them on time and more, it makes it so hard for them to leave you. Listen, if I even help just one person in attracting quality talent, it would mean the world to me. If you want a PDF version of everything that I talked about in this video, just hit me up on any socials I have linked in my description. I won't even ask you for an email or anything. I'll give it to you completely for free. That's if you just want to read over in fine print everything that I've talked about in this video on your own time. And if you guys enjoyed this, I would seriously appreciate any likes, comments, and shares. Now that you have the best quality employees and you're paying them extremely well, what happens when calls and revenue start to slow down? In the next video, I'm going to show you how to increase and create a consistent workflow for your HVAC company and increase call volume.